freestyle rap going on in the background. We got a little beat in the background. I might let that beat roll while I wait for you to roll in on the live stream. Listen in. I want to get lifted on the fucking spirit. I ain't talking gin and tonic, I'm talking holy spirit, getting lifted, talking in tongues, but I don't know how. Let it out of my mouth when I'm speaking. I don't really know how to rap, but I'm trying. I'll let the rules roll in while you're lying. Yeah, someone's in here. How you doing, mate? I wanted to stream on Sunday, but unfortunately I'll be traveling on Sunday, so instead we'll be streaming today to yours truly. So if you're in here and you appreciate the work, hit the Rogans. That's the thumbs up. Starling 22222. What's up to you, bro? Boo-hoo. I'm gonna just put this stream. Yeah, we got 3 people in here. Hell yeah. Dylan, how are you, fella? 3 people, 2 Rogans. There's 1 person in here that's enjoying the stream without pushing the Rogan. Shalom aloha, breath. Much love from Utah. Much love from Hawaii, brother. Feeling good today. It's Saturday. We had a full wolf moon last night. 3 people, 3 Rogans. We're on a roll. We had a full wolf moon last night. It was fucking cranking. We got 4 Rogans and 3 people. I don't know how that works. Someone's on a sneaky fucking hidden symbol. And it was crazy. If you saw my first love stream, you'll know that I talked about alchemy and I talked about harvesting gold from the surrounding atmosphere. That's fucking dew. Maybe if you weren't a part of the private stream, you wouldn't have heard all that. But basically, we were taking dew from the earth, the residue from the earth, and we were using the full moon to activate that residue, and we were fucking making gold. Last night was a full moon. Yeah, fucking hell yeah, mate. Whereabouts in Australia are ya? We were making a full moon enterprise come true. Me and a schizophrenic drug-fucked pig, just joking, she's beautiful. We're cruising around the golf course making magic, and we strung some sheets up, and I just boiled the liquid, and I'm safe to say that there's salt in that liquid, and I'll be extracting that salt and I'll be merging it in a fucking pipe. And we'll be getting high as a kite. And I'm not talking about gin and tonic, I'm talking about a spirit. We're gonna be high on the spirit, and I'm not talking gin and tonic. It comes out of my mouth, you know what I mean? Perth. You know when I lick pussy, you know what I do? I just sit the chick on my face and I start talking in tongues. It's called the Pentecostal experience, ladies and gentlemen. And if you don't know how to do it, I suggest you start reading the good book and getting into spirit and learning how to speak in tongues. And then you'll be able to go to your local church, and you'll be able to go to your local church and you'll be able to start going, and the ladies are going to lose their fucking shit. They're going to be like, Jesus, come inside. Feeling good, boys, girls, whoever's watching. 10 people are in the stream. There's 7 Rogans, so there's 3 of you that haven't pressed the Rogan. So, you know, you should press the Rogan. I'm going to share this link to my IG real quickly. I gotta. When does the rap start? The rap's starting right now, Afak Khan. If you want to hear me, you better fucking. Alright, I'll give you a rap that I wrote a couple days ago. It goes like this. Give me execution via electrocution. If the power goes out, tie a wrap around my neck and call it a Newsom. There's a guy on the newsroom called Gavin Newsom. He's a real nuisance. You hear that beat? It just like fucked up on me. So the gods unfortunately don't want me to drop a rhyme. But good to see you, Afak Khan. This guy's a legend, man. Big love to Pakistan, right? My brothers and sisters over there. I'm going to turn this down because I want to start getting into the love stream. Number 5, we're celebrating a full moon, the first full moon of the year. It's the full wolf moon. Pural effusion. Yes, I've been trying to rap lately. It's really difficult. It's way harder than you think. And then when you put a beat on the background, it's even harder. But it's a starter, right? So how are we all doing? We've got 10 people in here. We've got 8 Rogans up. So if you're in here, please hit the Rogans. It helps out with the shadow banning and the algorithms. And I put on a nice iron shirt. The earth is flat. Yes, it is, mate. Well, actually, no, it's not flat. Because we have mountains and valleys and oceans and all of these crevices and nooks and crannies. So of course it's not really flat, right? But it's definitely not a spinning fucking ball, you know, the ball of bullshit, the cabal. That's why it's Kabbalah, and you worship your fucking demon god Baal, because you're visualizing yourself to be on a Baal, right? Anyway, happy full moon. It's January 7th. It's a very beautiful day. I've been wonderful. I just had a hard time anal breathing. I would love some tips. Okay, I'll give you some tips. This shirt is definitely hands me down. Yeah, it's a hand me down. It's 100% a hand me down. All my clothes are hand me downs, bro. You think I'm a fag and go to the store and spend my money on clothes? Hell no. Remember what fucking Christ said? You should know you're from Pakistan. Fucking, he said, do not be worried with what you should wear, for isn't the body more important than the clothes? Yes, it is. The body's more important than the clothes. So those that want to have judgments about clothing are basically gamma male fabulators. And a fabulator, if you didn't know, is somebody that cannot go a mere day without eliminating their own sacred fluid, which is sperm. Real punk. Hell yeah, bro. It's a hand-me-down punk. I got it at my heavy metal I went to a death metal concert, and I stole someone's t-shirt, and now I'm wearing it in front of the live stream. Love stream 2023, love stream number 5, January 7th. The full moon was fully powered up. I haven't gone to sleep. I haven't gone to sleep in 2 days. And Jesus Christ, and my cat just got annihilated by a falling chair. So anyway, guys, I want to talk today about a few things. One thing of discussion is going to be the social sexual hierarchy of men. This doesn't really pertain at all to women, but I guess it does pertain to women if you're going to date these men, because all men fit within the sphere of the social sexual hierarchy. And although the retards that do the dating game, you know, they teach you how to get bitches, they have a multipolar, a polar viewpoint where they have alpha and beta, and there's only two. You're either falling into one, but really there's lots and lots. There's alpha, bravo, delta, gamma, sigma, and omega, and I'm going to touch on them very soon, and it'll be really good for you to learn. It's very important because it can help you figure out where you fit into society, and if you take that knowledge that I'm giving you this evening and apply it also with the knowledge that I gave you from a few streams back, which was the elements, your fire, wind, water, earth, and how they give you a personality type, well, then you can take that also, and I gave you another one as well. It was the power pyramid. It was psycho versus psycho beats normie, normie beats schizo, schizo beats normie. So that's sort of one power pyramid, and now we're going to extend it, and we're going to look at alpha, beta, delta, gamma, sigma, fucking omega, right? And that'll help you out. I'm telling you, it's really going to help you out. So if you don't know what I'm talking about when I say schizo, psycho, and normie, go and subscribe to my Telegram. It's t.me/YouTube unfriendly. We talk about all sorts of good shit in there. I serve up the piping hot gravy on the daily. And what is your personality type based on Jung psychology? Or have you your own system, Breath? I've got my own system, brother. I don't know who Jung is. I'm not a homosexual. I don't read other males' work. I only read books that are written by fellow breathers. What's your opinion on monogamy? Monogamy's great, man. Monogamy's great, you know. Everyone has their own thing. We all have our genetic predispositions. Some people that come from colder climates, like the north, the far north, monogamy works very good because you need a high trust society because winter is coming. And if you haven't prepared for the winter, you freeze to death or you starve to death because you can't grow any food. However, if you're from the equatorial regions and your genetic lineage goes back to the equatorial regions, like maybe the Philippines or fucking the Congo, and it's sunny all the time and there's always bananas, man. You know, you want to get that booty, and you might be more inclined to be polyamorous because you don't have to prepare for the winter, and you can have much more low trust because there's bananas and fruit everywhere, and you can just have jungle orgies whenever you want. So it's depending on your genetic predispositions, where you come from genetically. Now, with your question about anal breathing, so when I was traveling throughout India and studying with the Ayurvedics, we were looking for superior urine. Basically, the horse urine turned out to be the most superior, but back in those days, cow urine was all the rave, and these people would just fucking hoof the cow piss down on a daily. They were healthy as all fuck. And one of these mystics up in the jungle, well, the mountains, Himalayan mountains, he says to me, "Do you know you don't have to breathe into your chest?" And I couldn't ever figure that out. What did he mean by that? Because every time I breathed, it would go right into my chest. And basically I said, look, okay, I need to figure out what this guy's saying, because he was a mystic, man. He was super wise. The cunt drank about a gallon of cow piss every day. And this was back in my early days when I could only stomach like a shot, a cow piss shot. And these fuckers were just boom, boom, boom on the cow piss. So I knew he had some wisdom, and I knew I needed to take heed of what he was saying. So I said, what's up, dog? What do you got to tell me? And he said, you don't have to just breathe into your chest. And I said, fucking hell, all right, I'm not going to breathe into my chest. So I went home that night and I started practicing. And I couldn't get any further than my chest. And I just kept breathing, and then it fucking clicked. I fucking breathed into my stomach. I overpowered my subconscious desire of breathing into my chest, and I breathed into my stomach. And then after years and years and years of more practice and more breathing, I finally achieved the anal breath, my greatest experience of all time. My greatest achievement of all time was the anal breath. And if you want advice, first you have to start learning how to breathe into the chest, and then breathing into the stomach, then maybe into your external excrements, your fingers, right? And once you can breathe into your fingers, you'll be able to exhale completely from your anus. Why am I in a wheelchair? I don't really feel comfortable explaining that, but let me tell you, it involved 3 Armenians, a giant dildo, and a pair of handcuffs. Let that be the fucking thing. I understand that time might be experienced differently while perpetually stuck in hyperspace after your golden wax microdose acid trip incident, and the fact that Norway is literally on the other side. Yeah, bro, that made a shit ton of sense. Oh, you deserted Bushman wasteland. I think you need to sober up, Mr. Manrick, because I don't understand a word of what you're saying, but I appreciate the comments, and if you like, hit the Rogans. Let's get into the stream. I want to talk this evening about the social sexual hierarchy, and if I've got time, maybe I'll talk about XRP and what I foresee happening in the coming cryptocurrency markets. What I might do is I'll actually leave that in the private stream. So if you haven't already signed up to my Patreon, I suggest you go and do that, okay? It's less than $5 a month. It's fucking less than a beer a fucking month. So get your priorities straight. A beer a month will give you man tits and a fucking soy boy cuckold attitude. And a $5 donation will get you into my Patreon, which puts you into a private Telegram chat where we can discuss all things. And we can discuss many things and all things, and we'll get to the point right there. So do it if you haven't done it already. The links are all in my most recent videos. Sign the fuck up, join me, come and say hello, and we'll talk story. It's better to take daily high doses. You have the double... Okay, hold on, I've got to go only one thing at a time. Crypto is not a scam, bro. It's called maximum wreckage. But everyone thinks it's a scam when it's crashing, and then when it's pumping, everyone's like, I'm gonna be rich, because you're fucking in control. You're not in control of your emotions, so you act on how you feel. So if you lose money, it's a scam. If you make money, it's the greatest thing ever. Yeah, I know, dude. My last stream was all about Tate. No, fuck, Khan. That's called fucking... I know you know the word for it. Take it out of haram, right? Is that haram? Scamming is haram, brother. Bad money. So no, you should know better of all fucking people that scamming is not business. It's just because we're coming into the Kali Yuga where everyone's being a piece of fucking shit that scamming exists. My last live stream was all about Andrew Tate and how he fucking was literally a homosexual whore because he fucking took webcam girls, he put them up in front of a fucking camera, made the guys think that they were this cunt fucking, man, I gotta slow down. Lose my chain of thought. So, you know, he puts a woman in front of the camera, right? And then he himself gets in front of the camera and he starts typing, pretending to be a woman and saying all this dirty shit. He says the women don't know how to talk to men, so I can talk to men. What that means, if you're too retarded to figure it out, it means dirty talk. Let me ride your big fat hog, daddy. I love fat guys. I love the fat guys, you know? And then he extracts their money and he brags about it. He says, I took all their fucking money. They sold their house and now I drive 33 fucking Bugattis. That's gay prostitution and it's haram. A fuck Khan, that is haram. You should know that is haram because I know your faith and you should understand what haram is. It's bad money, it's dirty money, and there's karma related to haram. And we're in the Kali Yuga, so there's going to be a lot of haram, but my Patreon isn't haram at all. It's if you appreciate my work, then what you do is you contribute with $5. It's like less than a beer. And that just, it's like if there's somebody on the street performing with a guitar, singing a song about country music, you know, I want to smoke a bong and get fucked in the ass. You throw a penny in there, don't you? Or a dollar or whatever. No different to me, right? I put my time. Some people like it. They give me a Rogan. If they really like it, they, exactly, buy this man a beer. Buy this man a fucking beer and join the Patreon. That's how it works. And then you get into a chat room, which is not a war room like Andrew Tate's fucking piece of shit. War room, you know, that place was basically where you would go and troll people on the internet. Like if someone had a problem with him, everybody in the war room would just come and fucking do mass comments. I don't do any of that shit. We just talk story. If you don't like it, you can fuck off. If you do like it, you can join. I did a freestyle rap in there. Ooh, so fucking check that one out. And other than that, you know, we just send each other photos, non-nudity related. What kind of singing do your plant prefer that you have in your background? I took some of my plants with me. They like reggae, man. Sweet reggae music, bump, 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 bump. I find that plants like reggae, and they like to be manicured. They like to look pretty, you know. So it's good to keep. If you see like a leaf going bad, you snip it. Do you ever regret doing psychedelics, or do you think it's made you who you wanted to be? I don't regret anything, man. No regrets. Everything was unfolding according to the plan of Allah, yes? There's no regrets. A regret is going against the will of Allah. I don't go against the will of Allah. I am synchronized with the will of Allah. That's why I speak in tongues. It comes out of my mouth, the spirit. Do you feel it? Do you feel it? Anyway, with that being said, I'm going to get on with the stream. The stream this evening is going to be about the social sexual hierarchy. So sit down, pay the fuck attention, because I'm about to give you an educational experience. Okay, here we go, guys. The educational experience of the male social sexual hierarchy. So most of you, if you've studied game theory, mashallah to you afakan, inshallah, Allah is the greatest. Vibrations, the highest, Rastafarian. It's all about vibration and amplitude, and it's all about fucking insha-aloha, brother man. You know what I'm saying? It's about vibrations. That's why they've got these 5G towers to fuck your vibration and put you into an impulse state. Like I just want to whack off or bash some cunt because I'm a fucking reprobate piece of shit. But that's not your fault. It's the 5G towers and other frequencies. There's a patent on it. You can look it up. Every television has something called a neurotransmitter. It emits frequencies into your brain, and you get all wigged out all of a sudden. It's like, I don't know why, but I feel sick every time I look at Donald Trump. It's because you're getting hammered with a frequency coming straight out of the TV. Anyway, social sexual hierarchy, the meaning of this is the dynamic in which we organize ourselves in society. What do I mean by that? Well, if you've ever paid attention to game theory, they will delineate men into two categories. You'll either have alpha or you'll have beta. Alpha is basically the man that gets all the bitches, and they are usually successful, they have resources, status, and other things, whereas beta is the type of man that's like cucked, who is no resources, no status whatsoever, blah, 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 blah. Here's the deal, that paradigm is completely wrong. You need to smash it out of your fucking brain, because that is not how the world works. If there's ever a binary, that usually means it's not real. What kind of Wi-Fi do you use to avoid mind control? I use a tinfoil hat, bro, or a Faraday cage. Most people think that tinfoil hats are for schizophrenics, but that's an aluminum hat. Being a driller at a construction site is also very spiritual with the vibrations. You can harmonize while using the drill to control. Yeah, and it also makes you come, doesn't it, you fucking queer? I know all about you and your drills. Fucking, oh, I love drilling, bro. It gets me enlightened. Oh! I know all about you dirty construction worker fabulating fucks. I know all about it. So, anyway, what I was trying to say is if you want to protect yourself from EMFs, electromagnetic frequencies, then you need to give yourself a hat made out of what? Tin. It's called a tinfoil hat. Now, most of you scumbags will use aluminum foil because you can't afford tin foil, because they took tin foil off the market and they made aluminum foil available to the masses. Aluminum foil does not work. That actually cooks the brain even more. But tin foil is what you need to use, and it is not a sign of schizophrenia. It's a sign of wokeness, right? The other thing you want to use is a Faraday cage. You can buy Faraday clothing. This t-shirt is actually Faraday fabric. It protects my heart from EMFs. And yeah, that's the question answered in a nutshell. Now, if you don't mind, let me get back on to explaining the dynamic of the male social sexual hierarchy, because this is in fact something that you will all benefit from, especially you fucking drill sergeant at the construction worker. So get the binary out of your brain. If there's ever a binary, whether it's Democrat, Republican, fucking Catholic or Protestant, Jew or Muslim, whatever the fuck it is, if it's a binary, you get it out of your fucking head now, because usually a binary is a source of brain manipulation to charge a battery. Like I've told you a million fucking times, a battery, positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative, alpha, beta, right? So that's not how it works. The male social sexual hierarchy is delineated like this. At the very top, you have the alpha. Underneath the alpha, you have the beta. Beside the beta, you have the deltas. Underneath the deltas, you have the gamma. To the other field, you have the sigma. And to the other field, you have the omega. Now, let's go through and give an explanation of all of them, shall we, children, to give you an idea of perhaps where we fit in to this social sexual hierarchy, and that can help us in our day-to-day lives, especially if you apply that knowledge to my fucking element knowledge and my schizo-psycho fucking normie knowledge. You can put the whole thing together and you can level yourself up and become Super Saiyan 3. You know what I'm saying? So, at the top is alpha. And if you haven't got any of that other knowledge that I've given you, go back and watch my previous live streams. Go back and watch them all. They're all archived. And then sign up to my fucking Patreon and get in the private chat, and I'll answer further questions. Anyway, the top of the pyramid in the social sexual hierarchy is the alpha. Are you an alpha? The alpha has a direct chain of command underneath him. Okay, people he can call upon, and they're males. I'm not talking about females here. The alpha can call upon anyone, anytime, and say, look, motherfucker, I need you right now at my house. We're going to go beat up some Aboriginal dude at the park. And they turn up and they fucking do it. Right? Perhaps they're the head of a company and they have like 150 employees underneath them that are all helping the alpha achieve his goals. If you do not have a chain of command underneath you, you are not an alpha. You need to have people underneath you ready to do what you say. Okay? Other tendencies about the alpha is usually high intelligence, usually tall. They're like usually 6 feet and above. Physically strong, they're able to command authority, and they most of all, well, no, not necessarily a man of action, because the delta is more of a man of action than the bravo too. The alpha depends entirely on loyalty. The alpha doesn't care so much about what's right or wrong, but who are loyal to him, because the alpha needs his chain of command in fucking line. Think about the sergeant. If they're not following orders, the whole chain of command falls apart, right? So that's what really separates the alpha from the others. It's the chain of command underneath him. It's his ability to demand authority, and it's also his ability. Yeah, some of them are psychopathic, absolutely. I don't know who Charles Manson is, but when I tell you all of them, they'll fit in, and I'll give you some examples. So, the next one on the line is the Bravo. Most people call that the Beta. That is not the Beta. The Bravo is the man that is directly beside the Alpha, the Alpha's right-hand man. The Bravo is highly loyal, highly efficient with the work, and basically has to devote their whole life to the alpha. So if you want a little example to paint that picture, you could think about Batman and Robin, right? Robin is the Bravo to Batman. He's always there, right-hand fucking man. Every good alpha needs a solid Bravo. The Bravo is probably more important to the chain of command than the alpha itself. The Bravo keeps everything working together behind the scenes. The Bravo doesn't really have a life of their own because they are totally dedicated to the alpha. But usually they respect the alpha tremendously and they love the alpha tremendously, so it's not a big deal for them to give up their own life to become, a part of this alpha's mission. Underneath, usually maybe there's 2 or 3 Bravos with the alpha, right? If you thought about this too, Star Wars, Shalom Aloha, brother Alex, you ever seen the movie trilogy fucking Star Wars, and you have the Emperor, Darth Sidious, that wrinkly old cunt that looks like the Pope that shoots lightning beams out of his fingers? Well, he would be the alpha of the Empire, and Darth Vader would be his Bravo, right? And then all the stormtroopers are the Deltas, okay? The Deltas are what make society work. The Deltas are the ones that get up in the morning, they go to work, and they define themselves by the job they do. Like, how well of a job have I done? The Deltas are the best out there. I love Deltas. Deltas are what make society run. The delta isn't motivated by status or ego or loyalty. The delta is, in fact, defining himself by the job he does. He takes great pride. Yeah, Sigma Delta Force. He takes great pride in doing his job well. What classification do you think you are? I feel that I am a Sigma. I'll get to that. We're going to get to the end and then we'll start classifying things. Right? All right. So the fucking Delta takes pride in getting the job done correctly. They're basically worker bees, but they're the greatest partners. If you're a woman and you want to get married, Alpha is not a good man to marry. And Alpha is not faithful because like they're literally just like crushing and fucking and conquering and right. Alpha is not a good person to marry. A Bravo is not too much of a good person to marry either because they have to give their whole life to the Alpha. So you're in bed with your Bravo and then the Alpha calls you up and says, yo, motherfucker, you got to come and do a job. And the Bravo has to get out of bed and go and do a job. Whereas the Bravo and the Alpha are not the best husband material. The Delta is great husband material because they are sort of on their own path. They're doing their work. They can run great businesses. The best personality that I can give you to describe the Delta that you may be aware of would be like Jack Bauer. Just stopping by to say hi on a lunch break, watching the meme videos, enjoy your day. Hell yeah, Nicky Bush off to the races. Yahoo! The Delta is fucking Jack Bauer. Remember that show 24? Fucking he would do the missions in 24 hours. That's the Delta. That's the pinnacle of the Delta. Just like so zoned in on their job, so fucking good at their job. Maybe they're like can like crack a safe nobody can crack. They can hack into computer systems. They can build the fucking Taj Mahal. You know, they're insane. The Deltas are the fucking way to go. That's who you want to marry, ladies. You want to marry yourself a nice Delta. Unless you're okay with sharing your Alpha and you're down for polygamy and you don't give a hell if your alpha male goes and has a big fucking orgy and comes home with chlamydial herpes, then you're okay with an alpha. But not many females are capable of that. So the one underneath Delta is the Gamma. And the Gamma is the fucking ankle-biting piece of shit that really, really, really wants to be the Alpha. The Gamma is the try-hard Alpha. Most of those tater tots, like when I did my video on Andrew Tate and I exposed him for being a haram fucking scammer, like I lost about 20 fucking subscribers. They were all tater tots because I had Instagram messages like, you piece of shit, it's innocent until proven guilty. And, you know, it's like, dude, he's literally guilty by his own admission. He brags about breaking whores and doing fucking fraud to steal money, doing homosexual prostitution, right? So if it's innocent until proven guilty, well, he's guilty by his own admission. But these tater tots are just scrambled inside their own mind and they don't realize, right? Real lies, right? It's about responsibility, your ability to respond. Responsibility. Fucking give me a Bugatti. I need to fucking drive through the Eastern European countries smashing bitches. Yeah, it's total haram. But anyway, the Gamma male, which is the one underneath Delta, Gamma is the ankle-biting piece of shit that wants to be Alpha so bad. They want to be Alpha so fucking bad. They're the try-hard Alpha. They will spend a bunch of money they don't have to, you know, wear their Gucci shirts, wear their fucking Lamborghini on a loan, right, that they can't afford, and they like walk through the fucking casinos all with an image, a front, but they're just tryhards. They're not real alphas. They are scared of confrontation. But you'll find them in the comments a lot of the time, ankle biting at everybody because they're so fucking frustrated within themselves because they're not the alpha. But in their own mind, because they have severe cognitive dissonance, they believe that they are the secret king. They're like, I'm the secret king. I'm fucking, and they masturbate frequently. They're frequent masturbators. Yeah, they're mere actors, but they're worse than that, and a lot of it has to do with no real father figure. There's a lot of gamma males that are being produced because of no father figure in the home, because of weak masculinity. That's literally the toxic masculinity, is the gamma male, because there's no masculinity at all. There's no fucking backbone. They're just these groveling little fuckbags that want to hate on internet comments. Can they ascend their position? They can become a delta. Gammas can ascend and become a delta, but it's really hard, because most of the time they don't want to be deltas. They really want to be alphas, but they're never going to become an alpha because they can't. They can't deal with confrontation. First of all, they're really bad liars. Delta can become a beta if there's a really good alpha. Like, the problem is you have to love your alpha. Like, you have to devote yourself to your alpha. So the delta usually won't. The delta usually devotes themselves to their family, you know, and their health, their household. I mean, you know, like their kids and their wife and their job. That's where the delta puts their focus. The Bravo puts their focus to the alpha. Like, they don't give a fuck about their family. All they want to do is help the alpha achieve their mission. So there's the difference. Whereas the Gamma will fucking try to sabotage the alpha. There's, you know, it's funny because when you look at the 12 disciples of Christ, you know, you can see the hierarchy play out. And the one that betrayed Christ, Judas, he was a Gamma, because he sold out Jesus Christ for 30 pieces of silver. The Gamma will sell you out in a heartbeat for money because they only care about themselves, and they will then take that money and they'll buy a nice fancy pair of shoes and they'll strut around the fucking streets pretending that they're king shit. But really they just sold out the blood of Christ, you know what I mean? They're fucking... So Gammas are really, really bad. Gammas are the ones that are always in the comments. When it comes to dating, the Gamma has a very, very hard, has no luck getting women. The Gamma is unable to get any women, but what they'll do is they'll like pretend to be like caring about the woman, and they'll like always try to get her drunk and then probably rape her or something. But they'll do like, oh, the girl just broke up with her lover for 5 years or some shit. The Gamma calls, hi, sweetie. You want me to come over with some whiskey and cheer you up a little bit? And then when you're half asleep, I'll try and rub your pussy. That's the Gamma. Real freak bag piece of shit. The definition of toxic masculinity. Then you have my two favorites. You have the Sigma and you have the Omega. And they exist outside of the social sexual hierarchy. The Sigma is very similar to the Alpha in that they are able to command authority, but they don't have a chain of command. Why does self-awareness render someone able to be anything at all? What? Why does self-awareness render someone unable to be anything at all? Well, it doesn't. It does the opposite, right? If you're self-aware, I was born an Alpha, became a Beta, now I'm a AAA game. If you like are self-aware of who and what you are, which is the incarnation of Allah in the flesh, well, in a sense, you could say all things up to the will of God, right? Let thy kingdom be done, your will be done, which is in a sense not your own will because you're surrendering to the flow of the universe, right? So in a sense, yes, you are not becoming self-actuated because you're letting the spirit be who it wants to be as a channel, so to speak, a mere channel, a taste bud, right? If we say the tongue is Allah and we are the taste buds on the tongue, coming into self-actualization and realizing that we are the tongue and surrendering to the universe and saying what will be done, let it be done, then I guess we do not obtain self-actuation. But in a sense, there's great empowerment knowing that, you know, you're being embraced by the Holy Spirit and no weapon forged against you shall prosper, right? And with that power comes fucking actualization, and you can become anything you want, right? Because we were granted free will. Yes, we were. Yes, indeed. You don't believe me? I'm going to choose right now to put my left hand to my heart. So I have free will. Getting back to the social sexual hierarchy and the independence of the Sigma. The Sigma is, there's a lot of weird internet infatuation right now about the Sigma. You know, a lot of people want to be the Sigma, but the Sigma's, you know, nothing to really, you know, fantasize about because, you know, the Sigma has a hard path. The Sigma doesn't want to be a part of the social sexual hierarchy. The Alpha wants to be on the top and he wants to have a chain of command underneath him. The Sigma has potentially the same intelligence and the same skills as the Alpha and the same ability to demand confidence, but the Sigma doesn't want to be in blasphemer. The Sigma doesn't want to be a part of the social sexual hierarchy. The Sigma wants to do their own thing. The Sigma couldn't give a flying fuck about telling people what to do, having people underneath his control. All the Sigma wants to do is... The example of the Sigma is James Bond, right? The motherfucker's badass. He can, like, break into a London fucking bank and shoot everybody up and then whisk a girl out and bang her, you know, some super hot model. like all the supermodels want to bang him, but he does his own thing. He's not a part of a hierarchy. He doesn't have anyone underneath him. He's a little bit of a delta too because he works for MI6, but he always goes his own way. You know what I mean? He's doing his own thing. No one's got a fucking stranglehold on bloody James Bond. So that's the Sigma. So a lot of Gammas think they're Sigmas because they think that because they don't have a chain of command underneath them, they're like, well, then I have to be a Sigma. But the way to tell is if you can get women. If you struggle to get women, then you're not a Sigma. Sigmas have no problem getting women at all. Then you have my personal favorite, which is like if you've got the hierarchy going down and then the outlayers are the cross. Like imagine a cross, yeah? On the top of the cross is the alpha, then right in the middle is the bravo, then you've got the delta, and then you've got the gamma at the very bottom. And then on the sides of the cross, you have the sigma, because they're outside of the hierarchy. And then you have the omega. And the omega is the fucking guy that wants to burn everything to the fucking ground. So if you think they don't give a shit about the social sexual hierarchy, they don't give a shit about society at all. They just want to see the thing burn. The example I'll give you with that is the Joker out of Batman, you know, the one, why so serious? And he takes a giant pile of money. There's a scene in Batman where he takes a giant fucking pile of money and he lines it up and he sets it on fire. And it's like billions of dollars that just get burnt. And the gammas and the deltas and everybody, they can't understand, why the fuck would you do that? Because he doesn't care. He doesn't give a shit. Omegas are really rare. Not many Omegas out there, but I love Omegas. I had a really good friend of mine who was an Omega. He passed away, but fucking, it was just on like Donkey Kong when you hung out with Omegas. You know, they extremely intelligent. They fuck with everybody. You never can tell if they're serious or joking, and they burn shit to the ground. But they usually live very short lives. This guy died in a tragic accident, tragic anal trauma. I feel like a teetering between Omega and Sigma. Yeah, well, you know, no one really fits into no one fits directly into one either. You know, we come and go. It's sort of like the psycho schizo normie paradox, and it's the same with the elements. And remember, elements can be blended together too. Like if you remember when I was talking about how fire is your passion and your fucking desire to do things, see, conquer, do. And water's your emotion. Well, if you mix those two together, what do you get? Steam, right? Steamy. It's getting steamy in here. You'll have the best sex of your life if you combine passion and emotion, right? And it gets steamy, and that's literally the pronoun. What's the describing word? That's the describing word for a hot sex session. It was steamy. And it's the same with, there is a really nice video about Joker by Imaginary Axis. Oh, I have to check it out, man. So that's the deal. We don't fit strictly into one. We usually do drift between many. We could be Omega adjacent. We could be Sigma adjacent. We could be, you know, for me, like go down the checklist, I don't have a chain of command. I'm not an alpha. I don't have a chain of command underneath me. I mean, I have a Patreon with a few people in there, but I'm not bossing them around, and I don't have any desire to boss them around. Whereas Andrew Tate, if you're in his war room, if someone spoke shit on Andrew Tate, they would be like, oi, fucking get in your Bugatti and start commenting and fucking shadow ban them. Like he would tell people what to do. I don't tell anyone what to do, and I hate telling people what to do. So, and I don't give a shit about loyalty. Love me or hate me, I don't give a flying fuck. Whereas the alpha needs loyalty and they need control. So, you know, the Bravo, I actually naturally would like to be a Bravo, but the problem is I haven't found any badass alphas. I'll Bravo up with an alpha, a little bum chum, but then the more I'm underneath the alpha, the more I'm just like, fuck this dude's fucking gnarly. He faps off on his lunch break. I'm out of here. You know, Delta, yeah, but I don't take. If I find a project that I'm really interested in, then yes, I will take pride in that. So we shift between the two, or between all of them, really. I like to see things burn as well. I'm definitely Omega adjacent, and you know, all of these things, I have the tendency to disappear. I'm trying to be Delta with my live streams, getting in every week, you know, actually trying to turn up for you pieces of shit every week. And I mean that off the cusp. You guys aren't pieces of shit. If you're here and you've given me the Rogans, thanks a lot. I really appreciate it. And I love talking to all of you guys and the ones that are in my Telegram, and we got Talking Story. I've, you know, formed friendships, and I really enjoy it. This year is going to be the year of the reaping, or the year of the harvest. And I hope to harvest what I've been sowing. You know, the fields are plenty. So I'm gonna wrap up the live stream right now. I'm gonna open up a private live stream for those of you who are in my Patreon. If you're not in my Patreon, buy this man a fucking beer, join the Patreon, and we'll continue over there. I'm gonna talk about cryptocurrency. I'm gonna talk about what I see happening, and I want to talk mainly, bro, I've been watching you for like 5 years. You are incredible. Well, thanks, man. If I'm so incredible, buy me a fucking beer. Go and join my Patreon. Oh, thanks, man. That's a real honor and a real privilege. I'll have to have a hands-free ejaculation to that one later on tonight. You know, get the drill happening. China. These live streams make my day. Thank you, Breath. Namaste. Namaste to you too, man. The light in me sees the light in you. I got you, brother. You deserve a beer. All right. Hell yeah, man. We'll fucking go follow the link in my video description, and we'll fire up the private live stream, and what we'll do then is we'll talk about crypto and where I think it's going. Is it a scam? 99% of all cryptocurrencies are scams, but it's also the way of the future, right? If you don't think that currency is going digitalized, if you don't think we are all going to be revolving around the internet, which we already are, and if you don't think a native currency is going to be birthed out of the internet, then you got rocks in your head, Willis. There is 100% going to be a global currency birthed out of our global playground, which is what? The internet. Ding, 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 ding. And if you're not on board, you're going to get left in the fucking dust, and what they call it is maximum wreckage. That's where when people are buying, they'll crash the markets. They have a way of telling what we're interested in. Like, they have ways of seeing what's going on the internet, and they can do something called maximum wreckage, where everybody loses. But as long as you're doing the opposite of the herd, you'll win. Ding, 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 ding. And yes, there will be a fucking currency that comes out of the internet. Whether it's Bitcoin, whether it's something else, we shall not know until it happens. But it's best to position yourself now when the markets are full of fear and nobody's really buying them. So with that being said, thank you guys, appreciate it. Let's wrap this stream up and get into a private stream and talk cryptocurrency. Thanks, yo. No worries, Bert. Shalom, insha aloha, brother man. Peace be with you. Blessings. Aloha.